You are listening to Productivity Straight Talk with your host, Amber De La Garza. Amber is a sought-after productivity coach, trainer, speaker, and writer who gives entrepreneurs the straight talk on personal productivity. No BS, fluff, or overused jargon. Just actionable strategies to get results and succeed in business. And here is your host, Amber De La Garza, the productivity specialist.
Welcome and thank you for listening to Productivity Straight Talk. Today is episode 187, 5 musts to delegate effectively and be satisfied with the results. If you're a business owner who wants to improve your time management and elevate your productivity so you can maximize profits, reduce stress, and make time for what matters most, then you're in the right place, and I'm so glad you've joined me. I want to make sure that if you have not already signed up for it, that you know that I want you there. Where is there? I want you to join me for my free masterclass, Full Speed Ahead, How to Achieve Any Goal You Set. It is going down this week. So if you're listening to this episode when it's released or in the same week, the masterclass will be January 28th. So if you've been holding out and thinking, if I have time, let me see what that week looks like, now is the time to register. And yes, while I do want you to join me live so that you can get your questions answered, if you cannot make it because you are running your business, as I know you are, and living your life, and you may have other obligations during that time, I don't want you to miss out. So I am offering a limited time replay for those who register. So if you think that this will be of value to you, make sure you head on over and register. I've created this masterclass for 2 reasons. One is I want to serve you. I want to make sure that you are set up for success and the tools in your toolbox to execute on the goals that you've set for yourself. 2, I know that while you are incredibly excited about the goals you've set for 2021, you need tools in your toolbox to actually achieve the goals, to execute on those goals, to show up consistently. And that is what I want to talk about. I honestly think everyone is talking about the excitement of 2021 and that it's new year and new goals. Yes. But if you found yourself rewriting your goals from 2020 or even previous years, or perhaps you've written your goals, but there's no actual plan to achieve those goals, then join me for this masterclass. You can join us by going to amberdelagarza.com/full speed ahead. Again, you can join us by clicking the link to register in the notes of any app you're listening to this podcast episode, or head straight to amberdelagarza.com/full speed ahead. I hope to see you there. And now, let's get to the straight talk. Hey, so before we jump into the 5 musts to delegate effectively and be satisfied with your results, I thought I would share with you my current team structure, what their roles are, how they support the business and their goals. And I wanted to share with you this update because many of you have been longtime listeners and you've heard us talk a lot about hiring and hiring processes. And I had many episodes in Q4 about those topics as well as leadership. And I was also doing quite a bit of hiring in 2020. I thought what would be great is just giving you some behind the scenes before we jump into the 5 musts to delegate effectively. All right, so let's start with Crystal. Crystal has been with me the longest. She was actually my very first hire in the business about 7 years ago. And currently her role in the way that she supports the business is that she is my content manager. She works about 15 hours a week, and her role is to support me in everything content creation. She's been with me for so long that she knows my voice. She knows who I am. She knows much of my opinions about things. And so it's incredibly helpful because she's been my sounding board for so many years of working out ideas and being with me while I create content, she can really help take the lead currently in the business. So the types of things that she supports me with is that every podcast episode is co-created over Zoom, where I come to the table with an idea for the topic. I have an idea for the title sometimes not. I'm inspired by a story or an experience with a client. Whatever my inspiration is, then we sit and we work through it to create a full episode that is really valuable, where it would have stats or stories and examples. Oftentimes we're creating the framework so that it's presented in an organized way. For me, I'm an external processor, and so this works really, really well to get all my ideas out. And then she captures them, and then we edit those down into what you guys hear, which is an episode each and every week. She also handles helping with social media, emails, content creation for modules and master classes and trainings and courses. And a lot of that is that she's helping be the person that takes all my ideas, takes them as a sounding board, organizes them, gives them back to me to do a final edit. And that's just a process that has happened over time naturally and has evolved over time, but works really, really well. I don't create content in a silo. I cannot just sit at my desk and just create content all by myself. I really need that person that understands me, understands what I'm thinking, and can hear it and then feed it back to me. And oftentimes, even when she feeds it back to me, I'm like, no, that's not what I was trying to say. So then it forces me to refine my messaging and ultimately just deliver a higher level of content for you, my listeners of Productivity Straight Talk, or the readers of the blog. Oh, in fact, she also helps with publications. So I'm published, my work is published in several magazines, and she helps with that as well. She helps with all the graphics that happen in the business, logo creation. So she's definitely like my second brain and creative extension out of the business. Then we have Lacey. Lacey is my newest hire. Actually, she's not my newest hire anymore. More to that in a moment. So Lacey has been with me for a few months, and she's my executive assistant, and she helps with everything administrative. She helps with all the random tasks and activities that need to happen on a daily basis. She helps manage the admin side of Leverage Lab, which is my membership program. She helps with customer service, my calendar, scheduling. She's actually that position where she's like jack of all trades. And she's my go-to for filling in any gaps of the randomness of things that come up in the business that need to be handled. She has been such a great addition to the business, and I'm really, really happy that she is with us. Then I have a personal assistant that is in my home, and her name is Nat, and she helps me with all things domestic, I guess is the best way to put it. So she'll pick up my groceries, she does our laundry, she runs errands, she does projects around the house, organizing projects, deep cleaning. She also just keeps the house cleaned up. When she comes 3 days a week. And so she'll just straighten things up, clean them up, dishes, really just freeing myself from not just the time, but the mental energy of running everything in the home. And it allows me to have more time in my business, yes, but more importantly, more downtime to rest and recharge and time to enjoy with my family. And that's really why I had decided to have a personal assistant in the home to help with those types of activities. And then we have Sabrina, and she is my Entreport specialist, which is my back-end system that runs all automations. So think funnels, customer relationship management program, the system that charges my clients, bills people, order forms, like the tech that runs all the automation behind the scenes is taken care of by Sabrina. And she works about 10 hours a week and really understands Entreport. There are a lot of programs out there to run your back-end system. And for me, many years ago, I picked Entreport. Entreport is an incredibly robust system and program, but I have always needed someone on the team that understands how to be in there and can execute on all my ideas of what I want the system to do. Every week I come to the table and say, and I want to do this, and I want to have this funnel, and I want to reach out to these people, and I want to say these things. Here's the emails, here's the assets. And she builds all the automation behind the scenes to make it work. It's a very specialized role. So that is the only thing she does for me in the business is anything related to Entreport. And then we also have our audio editor, Justin. He is contract, so he's not hourly. He's actually paid based on the project or the results. So he's paid based on the episodes that are edited for you, the listener of Productivity Straight Talk. So I record every episode into 3 different parts: an intro, content, outro. And there's a lot of editing that goes into making it sound great for you. He adds in the music and he just balances it all out. So he works his magic behind the scenes to help us deliver great podcasts each and every week. And my most recent hire is a digital marketing specialist, and she's a contractor as well. And she is going to be responsible for all digital paid marketing in 2021. And she understands selling and attracting the right type of customer. She understands delivering my message to the right people at the right time. And with my goals that I have for 2021, I knew that I needed to try something different in 2021 to expand my reach and to serve more people. That is her role coming into the business. In fact, she starts on Monday as of this recording. As a business owner, I really take it as my personal role and responsibility to continually improve my own leadership skills. As I lead a team of 6, I really have learned a few things over the time. And when I say learn them, meaning I don't believe that leadership necessarily comes natural to everyone. And while you can lead and inspire people to follow you, what does the nitty-gritty, what does the day-to-day in the trenches look like? And I believe there are a few things that if you can nail down, I think will increase the likelihood that you will be completely satisfied with the results. And I also think what I'm sharing with you is important is because if you don't have these things in place, being a leader, leading people on your team can become very frustrating. It can actually be a point of great frustration and ultimately plateau your business growth because you yourself can only do so much. And I truly believe that anything great will be created with a team, not by ourselves. And when I think about that, I think how even more important it is that I, as a leader, keep practicing, growing personally, and practicing leadership so that I can be a better person to help my team show up their best. Number 1 must to delegate effectively and be satisfied with the results is build a team of people you trust. For me, trust is everything. In fact, when we talk about delegation, and one of the main reasons why people are hesitant to delegate or fearful to delegate or have had bad experiences with delegating, it often roots to the fact that they don't trust others. They think, I can do it best, or no one is going to do it as good as I can do it. And I have found that the surefire way to combat that thought is to build a team that you trust. And trust is not something that is just freely given, in my opinion. Trust is something that is earned. It is earned over time by proving that you do what you say you're going to do, that you do your tasks and activities with accuracy, that you're somebody that is of integrity, you're someone that is a team player, you're someone that I can count on. And that is not given out in day one. In fact, when I think back to onboarding Lacey, It was a new role that I had never had in the business. So not only was there new standard operating procedures, there was new tasks that had never been delegated out to anyone that she was handling. There was a lot of uncharted territory going into hiring and onboarding Lacey. And in my mind, I thought that I would be training her, teaching her, doing work with her, supervising her work, looking at everything she was doing for at least a good month to really get her onboarded and see what was possible. And, in hindsight, this was not me showing up my best, but I blurted it out and we can laugh about it now, is that she was so impressive. She was nailing things left and right to where my little meter of trust was like literally skyrocketing. I remember talking to her and saying, actually it was on Voxer, and I blurted out, "Oh my gosh, the leash is off." The leash is off. Look, it's a term meaning that when you're hiring somebody and you're building that trust, that they have a short leash, right? You're not going to give them a long leash that they end up hanging themselves or do a big mess up in the business and you have more to clean up. So she was on a short leash, and this was my analogy. And when she impressed me so much, instead of just coming out with that compliment, the compliment is that I'm letting go of your leash. Like, you're no longer on a leash. And it's not anything that I actually regret, because she was able to prove herself so quickly that I was able to trust her. And as a business owner, that is exactly what you want. You want to be able to build a team that you trust, because I don't have the time to look at everything she's doing, nor is that even best use of my time. It's nothing that I would want. However, when the buck stops with you and you are a small business owner, if you don't trust your team, chances are you're checking everything because you're not sure where you're going to find another mistake. This is also a key indicator as to when it may be time to let someone go. Perhaps you had trust with someone and that it has been recently broken over and over again. I have found this to be a great source of frustration for many business owners, is that they no longer trust the employee because so many mistakes have been made. And then it becomes more taxing. It becomes such an energy drain and a time drain to check all the work that this employee or team member is doing. And that's usually a key indicator that a straight, direct conversation needs to be had so that it can be corrected and mistake after mistake isn't continuing to happen. And if after having that conversation with them and giving them very specific examples that there's not an improvement, you may be on your way to having to let them go and hire somebody new. Now, with that being said, everyone makes mistakes. They're not one and the same, as in you need to find someone that doesn't make mistakes and therefore you can trust them. I think that you listening to me today can have a great understanding that we are all human and that everyone makes mistakes. And there is just a certain amount of tolerance you're going to have as your business grows, that there will be mistakes made. But if they're the same mistakes, if they're details that are being overlooked that shouldn't be overlooked over and over again, then maybe you don't have the right person in the right seat in your business. All right, so build a team of people you trust, because when you do, you will be able to confidently and effectively delegate to them with great results. Number 2, share the big picture. When I think of delegating, I'm often delegating specific tasks, or I'm delegating projects, or I'm delegating an outcome. It's really a combination of all of those. But what I have found is that to really lead and get the results you're looking for, I have found it to be incredibly beneficial to share with the team member or the team at large the bigger picture, how what it is that they're doing actually impacts the bigger picture of the goals of the business or what it is that we're trying to accomplish. I actually stumbled upon this strategy because this is the way that my brain works. I always want to know the why. Like, I don't care if it's something personal or professional or really anything in my life. If I don't understand the why, that is the next question out of my mouth is why? Why does it work that way? Why does that matter? Why do we do it this way and not that way? I get that I operate not the same as everyone else, but I do see the value that when I have the why, I am much more invested in the outcome. And honestly, I think that's true for a lot of people, even if they're not asking the why. Why does it matter what they're doing? Why does it matter that they do a great job? Why does it matter that they get the thing done on time because it impacts other people in the team to hit their goals? The why matters. And this is exactly what I did with my team when we planned out 2021. Is in November, the week of Thanksgiving, my team and I met, and I shared with them the company's North Star. Why do we do what we do? Not just what we're going to do, but why? And I'll be honest with you, there were tears. I was speaking from my heart. I was speaking from everything that I know is true about what this business and this company can serve to our clients. And I shared that with them openly and raw. What we do matters, and here's why. And not only that, giving them examples of clients that we have made an impact. Now, this is really important because they don't have any client interaction. All client interaction is with me, right? I'm the one coaching. I'm the one training them. But there's an entire team that runs behind the scenes. And if they don't get direct client interaction, they're also not getting the stories of the impact the company's making. So I shared many of those with them and told them that what we're planning to do in 2021 matters, and who are the business owners we're going to impact with specific stories and examples. And I guarantee that called them in. It called them into a bigger why and a bigger purpose than just looking at the task list as tasks that need to be marked off. If you have not already done so, you can go back and listen to episode 184, where I share finding your North Star, and I also shared my North Star in the business with you as well. Number 3, be realistic with what your team members can get done. This is the one that I am growing most in and most often. I, like many of you, are incredibly optimistic in what it is I want to get done and by when I want to get it done by. So as a leader, knowing that this is one of the weak spots, I have to put in processes to ensure that I am recognizing what is realistic, what can my team members actually get done. And oftentimes, as business owners, we're running 100 steps ahead, even 50 steps ahead of the team because we're visionaries. We have this idea of where we want to be, and we live in the future, and our team is often living in the here and now. And with that being said, we can forget what's currently on their plate. We can forget to slow down and even remember what we handed off to them yesterday or last week. And that brings me to my checks and balances. Every time I have a meeting with my team, I start the meeting off by saying, is there anything you would like to share with me? Because if I don't have that part of the agenda, I will literally go straight into all the new things I need them to do, all the new tasks that I need them to do. And I haven't paused to recognize where are they at. So I ask them, is there anything you need to share with me? Is there anything you need from me to help you get your task done? That's how we open it up. And then I go into what's next and whatever the topic of the meeting is, and I go through all of that. And then I end the meeting saying, great, let's recap and prioritize the things that I gave you in conjunction with what you already have. Now, one, it's incredibly helpful to them to see how all these added tasks or projects get inserted into things that I already gave them that they're working on, or maybe even haven't even started. But 2, it helps me as the business owner hear, oh, that's right, I gave them that thing. That's right, they're working on that. And now I'm not talking about going task by task by task. I don't need that type of level. But it is a great opportunity for them to give clarifying questions such as, okay, so you said this was number 1 priority. So to confirm, is that over X, Y, and Z that you gave me last week? And then I, as the business owner, get to say, yes, absolutely, this truly is number 1 when we get off the meeting. Or I have the opportunity to say, Actually, I kind of forgot I gave that to you last week. Go ahead and do that, finish it up, and then you can move into this next project or task. When we talk about delegating and being completely satisfied with the result, a big part of that is when did the task or activity or project that you delegated get done? And if you're not being realistic with how long something takes, then you're not going to be satisfied. You're setting yourself up for disappointment. Now, the example I just gave you was being realistic based on what tasks or activities they already had on their plate and for them to be prioritizing to hit deadlines. But there's a second part to this, and I think it's really important to say. Now, for me, I think it's a little less of my issue because I am such a details person, but more than likely you are not a details person. That tends to not be a personality trait that goes hand in hand with business owners. So if you identify as someone that is not detail oriented, meaning you truly are the visionary, you see the big picture, but not everything that it takes, then lean on your team. And because you trust them, listen to them when they say, great, no problem, we will do that thing. But please know there are 77 steps to do to get to that result. Or maybe they'll say there is this, and this that needs to happen. And I want you to listen because those of you that are not detail-oriented almost just shut off during that time of the meeting. You're like, details, no, don't want to hear them. I want you to hear it. I don't need you to understand all the details, but I want you to hear that each of those subtasks that you didn't even think existed all take time. And when we think of ourselves as leaders and supporting our team, we need to empower them to be able to give us that information so that now we know. You are not responsible for knowing in the first place, but you are certainly responsible for listening when your team's telling you that that deadline may or may not be hit because of all these additional items or tasks that you didn't think of. And that's good. You want somebody on your team to tell you that. But then you need to adjust your expectations based on new information that you did not have when you first set out on assigning that project or assigning that task to them. All right, number 4, align delegated tasks with the strength of your team members. If you want to get good results with delegating, make sure you're delegating tasks and activities and projects that are in alignment with their skill set. When you think of delegating something to someone and wanting a specific result, you want to make sure that it's being done by someone that possesses the skill sets to execute it on the way that you desire. The best example I can give, and this is with all permission from Crystal, is that Crystal is a rock star content manager. Like, she has been my right-hand person. She wordsmiths everything I say and everything that I write, but do not give her technology. And I mean, do not give her technology. If there is something to be broken in tech or something that's challenging or something that is not working correctly, it will find Crystal. And it's just not her forte. And I would be a ridiculous leader to assign her any activities and tasks that directly relate to technology. I am inevitably setting her up for incredible frustration, but setting myself up for disappointment because I'm not going to get the results that I desire. And as a leader, you have to be in tune and understand what are the strengths and weaknesses of each of your team members. And it doesn't necessarily mean that they have the skill set in that moment, because there are lots of things that someone on your team can learn and become better at. But I think what I'm talking about more is don't give a task or activity to someone that it's a known weakness for them. If you know that your team member doesn't possess the skill sets to do graphic design, then don't give them graphic design tasks. And yet, in a pinch, or when you don't really strategically think about who you're delegating what to, then you're not really optimizing the strengths and weaknesses on your team. You can have an amazing employee, contractor, team member. And I mean amazing, but they're not amazing at everything. Just like you're not amazing at everything. And so the more you know your team members and you understand where they excel and where they struggle, it's up to you to ensure that you understand that about each of your team members. And you're not going to always understand it right out of the gate. I am still learning those things about my newer team members. And you're only going to learn by delegating something to them and getting that result back and asking yourself, like, maybe that's just not their skill set. Like, did they really think they did a great job? And if so, then maybe this is just a skill set they don't possess. And you as a leader have the opportunity to determine, is it worth investing in them and training them on this skill set? Or is there someone else on your team that does possess that skill set that can do better? Or perhaps that just means you need to hire someone else to fill that knowledge or skill set gap in your business. But continually giving a team member a task or activity that's not their strength is really setting both of yourselves up for a lot of frustration and disappointment. Number 5, clearly communicate your expectations. Now, I saved the best for last because I probably should have come right out of the gate with this. But if you want to really take it home with your delegation and get the desired results you want, it is going to take clear, direct communication. And I have found that this is hard for many people for a few reasons. One is that people don't often feel comfortable saying what they want to say because it feels like it may be a little too confrontational or too direct. But you can't hold back information because you'll be setting yourself up for disappointment again. For example, if you have someone on your team that you give a task or project to and you tell them what it is, and in your mind, you're like, surely they're going to get that done by Wednesday. So this is information you have in your head. You set an expectation up in your own mind about what you want, and Wednesday comes and goes. You are frustrated. You didn't get the delegated results you desire, but it was because you held back on information because you didn't feel like it was appropriate to be that direct. I'm telling you, it is inappropriate for you to hold back information and not be that direct. If there is something that you know around what it is you're giving out, whether it's a deadline or you have preferences on how it gets done, I want you to slow down and take the time to truly communicate that to your team members so they can do their best job. The second reason I find that it's really hard for people to clearly communicate is that they don't really take the time to know what it is they want. They're not fully delegating the activity or project or task with the end in mind because it's blurry to them. They haven't taken the time to slow down and really think out what it is they're actually asking. So if you can't clearly communicate what it is that you want as an end result, how do you think anyone on your team is going to be able to satisfy your requests and make you completely happy with the results when you don't even know what results you were looking for? It's almost like, I don't know, I'm going to tell you what it is I want, kind of, see what you come back with, and then I'll let you know if I'm satisfied or if I'm not. That is no way to effectively delegate tasks, and it's certainly not a way to lead your team. Now, I do understand that the root of this is not that you don't want to give them clear communication. It's that you're probably moving so fast that it feels painful to slow down. It reminds me of a saying called haste makes waste. And honestly, as someone who talks incredibly fast and sometimes trips over my own words and even skips words because I talk so fast, I know how important it is to slow down, gather my thoughts, and relay them clearly to others. And I have to work on this because sometimes I can get so excited about something and just talk and not all the details are coming out. That is not helpful to the person that actually needs to take the time to execute on all those details to get the result. So, haste makes waste. And if I'm not giving all the details about what it is that I need or want or expect, then I guarantee I'm going to get it back and I'm going to have to give more feedback. And I'm going to have to send it back with more edits or more recommendations, or ultimately, call it whatever you want, more communication about what it is that I wanted because I fell short in truly communicating that in the first place. I want to share with you a personal example that actually happened to me with my husband about not saying what it is that you really want and not getting the results that I anticipated getting. So a few months ago, in the midst of COVID, we didn't have any help in the home. And so my husband and I were both dividing all the chores in the house. And the weekend came and I said, hey, babe, can you help me with the laundry this weekend? And he said, sure, no problem, which isn't generally a problem at all. So he, works on the laundry and Sunday night comes. So, whatever we're doing all weekend, coming, going, I'm doing my stuff, he's doing his stuff. I get ready to get into bed Sunday night, like around 9:30, and the bed is like covered with laundry. And not only is it covered with laundry, it made me go look like, I wonder what laundry got done. So I go into the laundry room and there's laundry in the washer, there's laundry in the dryer, and then whatever laundry that got done was sitting on the bed to be folded. And I was like, I asked you to help me with the laundry. What is this? Like, it needs to get done. He goes, I did help you with the laundry. And there lies the indirect conversation that he and I had. I didn't say, hey, babe, can you do all the laundry this weekend? It's nuanced and it's subtle, but he's right. That's not what I said. I got exactly what I asked. He helped with the laundry. He got it started. He made progress on the laundry. But I never said with what was in my head for expectations was, hey, babe, can you do all the laundry this weekend? How many times does that example happen, not just in our real, personal lives and personal relationships, but that is bound to happen over and over with our employees and our team members too. And the ownership is exactly where it needs to be, and that is with you. Just like in that situation, as frustrated as I was, that was 100% ownership on me for having poor communication, not clearly telling him exactly what I wanted to get the results that I wanted. All right, so let's recap here. 5 musts to delegate effectively and be satisfied with the results. Number 1, build a team of people you trust. Number 2, share the big picture so everyone's in it together. Number 3, be realistic with what your team members can actually get done. Number 4, align delegated tasks with the strengths of your team members. Number 5, clearly communicate your expectations. One more little thing I'd like to share with you before we close out, and that is that when you have a challenge with a team member with delegating, it may not be as black and white as it falls in one of these 5 areas. It can very likely be a combination of several of these points that I shared with you. I gave a task out to someone on my team recently, and I did not get the results I was looking for, not by a long shot. And every time that happens, instead of blaming the other person, I first question myself. I first put myself in the seat of what could I have done differently to get different results as the leader. And in this case, it was definitely an honest combination of 2 things. 1, I don't think I was clear enough with my instructions. And 2, I don't believe that it was aligned with their skill set. And those 2 things are handled and solved 2 different ways. And it's very important that you hear me say it is not black and white. It is not check the box. It's this, this, or this. It can be layered. It can be multifaceted. And it is up to you as a leader to figure out what's going on. Why are you not getting the results you want when you delegate? Because you can get great results. You can effectively delegate and get amazing results that you're satisfied. I know it's possible. You know it's possible because there's positive proof all around us with businesses running, not with just solopreneurs that do everything themselves, but truly with a team. And so if you feel that your team is not working as effectively as you can, have an honest conversation with yourself and look at where the responsibility lies. Most often, with the leader. And sometimes it's a combination of just not having the right people on your team. I have loved having you listen to this episode of Productivity Straight Talk. And I hope you found today's episode to be incredibly valuable as you grow as a leader in your business. But I need to be straight with you. No change, no change. Without taking action, nothing will change for you or your business. What action can you take in your business, in your day-to-day, your week-to-week, that will get you different results next time you delegate to a team member? How can you improve the effectiveness and your satisfaction with your team members when you delegate tasks and projects to them? I hope you refer back to this 5 must-haves on what you actually need to get the results you're looking for with your team. And before we close out, I want to make sure that you go and sign up for my free masterclass, Full Speed Ahead. In Full Speed Ahead, I'm going to be sharing with you how you can achieve any goal you set. If you've liked today's episodes, or quite frankly, any of the episodes on Productivity Straight Talk, then I encourage you to go take me up on this free masterclass. If you enjoy my teaching style, if you enjoy my straight talk, no nonsense, direct strategy, then join me for this free masterclass because I'm going to be sharing with you the exact strategies that you need to actually accomplish your goals, not just set them. Join me by heading on over to amberdelagarza.com/full speed ahead. Again, that's amberdelagarza.com/full speed ahead. I cannot wait to see you there. So that's my straight talk for today. Until next time, have a productive week.